A HIPAA violation is any breach in an organization's compliance program that jeopardizes the integrity of PHI or EPHI. Breaches. Data breach occurs when one of your employees has an unencrypted company laptop with access to dental records stolen. Minor breach is a data breach that affects fewer than 500 individuals in a single jurisdiction. Meaningful breach. A meaningful breach is a data breach that affects more than 500 individuals in a single jurisdiction. Examples of breaches: stolen laptop, malware incident, a ransomware attack, business associate breach, office break-in, sending PHI information to an unauthorized party, discussing PHI outside of the office, social media posts. HIPAA violations. HIPAA violations commonly fall into several categories. Use and disclosure. A use and disclosure violation occurs when a covered entity or business associate improperly distributes PHI or EPHI to an incorrect party. Improper security. HIPAA safeguards can result in a HIPAA violation when the standards of the HIPAA security rule are not correctly followed. Minimum necessary rule. The minimum necessary rule is a component of the HIPAA privacy rule that is a common cause of HIPAA violations. The minimum necessary rule states that employees of covered entities may only access, use, transmit, or otherwise handle the minimum amount of PHI necessary to complete a given task. Access controls. Access controls are an aspect of HIPAA regulation limiting the number of staff members at an organization with access to PHI. Access to PHI should be limited based on the roles and responsibilities of the employee in question. Notice of privacy practices. Having a notice of privacy practices is a mandatory standard of the HIPAA privacy rule. The following is a list of complaints and compliance violations. Storing information on the desktop, leaving out forms containing confidential information, failure to obtain driver's licenses, releasing information to a family member who is not the legal guardian and does not have signed permission, removing patient forms from the facility, failure to obtain a record release, failure to use secure email, failure to obtain a permission form, improper disposal of confidential information, failure to shred documents at the end of the day, discussing insurance or patient information in a public setting, patient schedule is visible for others to see, Control H, accessing patient information that is not necessary. Complaints. A parent may complain if they feel we have violated their rights. Our complaint process is provided at the bottom of the Notice of Privacy Practices. HIPAA fines. Tier 1, minimum fine of $100 per violation up to $50,000. Tier 2, minimum fine of $1,000 per violation up to $50,000. Tier 3, minimum fine of $10,000 per violation up to $50,000. Tier 4, minimum fine of $50,000 per violation. Disciplinary sanctions. Dental practices must apply appropriate sanctions for workforce members who violate HIPAA privacy breach notification policies and procedures.